Good evening, I'm Katerina Georgieva. Here's what's making news right now.
The easier it is to travel across the border, the better it is for us, and we're excited.
I'm pleased to announce that the Government of Canada is investing over $2.5 million to support Windsor businesses impacted by the illegal blockade near the Ambassador Bridge.
We're thankful for the kind gesture of an apology, but apologies can be hollow if they're only words, and we always look for actions, and not to go back to the cliche, but actions do speak louder than words.
Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a piece of news that many have been waiting for some time. Relief is on the way for Windsor's small businesses impacted by the bridge blockade from earlier this year. The federal government will provide more than $2.5 million to help those that lost money because of the protest. As Dale Molnar reports, the funding will flow to more than 200 businesses.
This is April the 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke, right? And I'm assured it's not.
And it's certainly been no laughing matter for those Windsor businesses waiting on support, especially as they saw Ottawa businesses get funding while they weren't. MP Eric Kazmierczak says he acted even before the Ottawa money was announced.
We heard directly from businesses that were being impacted, and right away I spoke with Minister Jasek, who's the Minister of Economic Development, and also the Deputy Prime Minister about the need to support businesses in Windsor.
I think this program mirrors what was done in Ottawa. So they're trying to provide, the federal government trying to provide some equity in terms of the relief that they are offering.
The money is available to small businesses with fewer than 100 employees in the Huron Church Road corridor with postal codes N9A, N9B, N9C, and N9E. There are several criteria that need to be met. The money can only go to recover certain costs, such as utilities, insurance, and loss of inventory. Businesses can claim anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000, something that makes the owner of this restaurant happy.
And we are just lost the business about 25 to 30% for us at that moment.
But one business owner we spoke with said he lost far more than $10,000. The owner of Fred's Farm Fresh isn't sure if 10 grand will be enough.
We have to talk to our accountants, and I have to see the criteria of what the government needs to give, from 1,000 to 10. I mean, alone on Valentine's Day, we lost $5,000 worth of flowers.
Well, the $10,000 is the amount as well that was offered in Ottawa to businesses, and we're looking at about 240 businesses that will be able to be helped out here. And in my conversations with local businesses, especially around the Huron Church corridor, we feel that amount is going to help a lot of businesses.
MPP Lisa Gretzky believes the province should provide some help as well.
I think they need to speak to the individual businesses that were impacted and come forward with a plan.
Businesses can apply for the federal money on the Invest Windsor Essex website. They have until May 20th. Dale Molnar, CBC News, Windsor.
And another piece of news many have been waiting for, a major change to Canada's travel rules. Starting today, those fully vaccinated no longer need a PCR or an antigen COVID-19 test to enter the country. And for a cross-border city like Windsor, it's a change that'll make a major difference. Our Jennifer Lagrassa took the tunnel into Detroit today, and that is where she joins us from live tonight. Jen, give us a sense of just how big of a deal this is.
This is really huge news for travelers coming into Canada. As you mentioned, especially those border cities like Windsor. Residents in Windsor frequently come to Detroit, to Michigan to visit family, friends, but really just to enjoy the social scene and the daily errands here as well. The first person that you'll hear that I spoke with is Heather Petrie. She's a really big Detroit Red Wings fan, a super fan, and she missed a lot of games during the pandemic due to the restrictions. She's hoping now she can be a regular back at them.
It feels absolutely amazing. I had a 245 home game streak prior to COVID, and I've only attended 2 games since COVID hit. This will be my second one tonight. So I'm really hoping to get my streak back in and come to all the games in April, and then renew my season tickets for next year, and I'll be a season ticket holder, and I'll be back at all the games and back in action.
What does it mean for you to have that testing requirement dropped, to know that you can go home and you can just go show your vaccine status, your passport, and then get back home to Windsor?
It's just so much more affordable when it comes to, ticket prices, plus parking, plus tunnel fare, plus gas these days, plus $15 beers inside the arena. It all gets really expensive really fast, especially with our Canadian dollar not being worth as much. It just means the world to not have to worry about that extra fee for testing and worry about any of the hassle that comes along with it. I don't have to drive all the way out somewhere else and get tested. I don't have to worry about getting my test results back prior to coming back to Canada. So it just means the world to have it a lot easier to be able to cross.
For us, it means that it's easier for you guys, or the Canadians, to come across and to be back in our business. So the easier it is to travel across the border, the better it is for us, and we're excited.
Have you seen Canadian customers today yet? Are you expecting them to come on the weekend? What are you guys preparing for?
We've had a few reservations for Saturday night for Canadians, which is great. We're excited to kind of getting everybody back and seeing some old faces that we haven't seen in a long time.
Today we see a lot of Canadians coming this side because they don't have to show the test vaccine.
What are Canadians saying when they're coming in and they're eating? What are they saying?
They are very happy to come in Lafayette, and they are happy to come on this side.
Do Canadians love the Coney dog?
Oh yeah, they love it.
What is it about the Coney dog? Why do they love it?
They love it because chili mustard onions and the homemade Lafayette homemade chili.
Are you happy to see your Canadian customers come back?
Oh yeah, very happy. Glad to see them back. Come down.
I love that. And Jen, the testing requirement is gone, but what else do travelers still have to keep in mind?
Well, it's really important to remember, Kat, that there is that ArriveCan app that travelers need to fill out within 72 hours of arriving at the border. It's going to ask them to upload their vaccination status, either in English or French. Even if you're fully vaccinated, though, you can be selected for random testing. That's the airport and land crossings. The border officer will give you a take-home test to look into. Now, that random testing is really just so that Canada can track the variants that are coming into the country. And Kat, just before I leave here, I do need to show you, I have a Coney dog. I'm going to be bringing this over to you because you can't leave Detroit without one of these. So once I cross over, it's coming right to you, Kat.
Jen, you are my hero. Thank you so much, Jen. That is CBC's Jennifer LaGrassa reporting from Detroit tonight and bringing me a hot dog. And turning now to international news, Pope Francis today apologized for the abuses Indigenous people in Canada's residential schools suffered at the hands of members of the Catholic Church.
I ask for God's forgiveness, and I want to say to you with all my heart, I am very sorry, and I join my brothers, the Canadian bishops, in asking your pardon.
Francis made the historic apology at the Vatican after several days of discussions with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis delegations. Chief Gerald Antoine, who led one of the delegations, called the move, quote, long overdue. He described it as a first step on the path of reconciliation. Residential schools, which operated for more than a century, had been part of government policy to assimilate Indigenous children. And the Catholic Church was in charge of nearly 2/3 of those institutions. The Pope says he hopes to visit Canada in the days around the Feast of St. Anne, which falls on July 26th. And members of the Indigenous community in our region are reacting to the Pope's words.
I was rather surprised at how my physical body reacted to it. I got goosebumps, I started to shake, and I think that really talks to the intergenerational trauma. I have family members on both sides who have attended residential school, and so it moved me when I heard him talk about shame and evil and the acknowledgement about our 7 generations and us caring for the land. So it moved me that it seemed like those concepts he really took in from the delegates that were there. So it was a moving experience.
But now she wonders what actions will follow these words. The chief of Kettle and Stony Point First Nation wonders the same. He was also displeased that the Pope didn't apologize on behalf of the church as a whole.
You mentioned about some Catholics that were assigned to education purposes. I mean, that's unfair because the whole colonization process that happened in North America is a result of the doctrine of terra nullius. The whole way that we have treated Indigenous peoples the world over is because the Catholic Church, likely the largest institution at the time, said it was okay to strip people of these things and take their lives, not for God, not for spirit or for well-being or to share teachings, but for material wealth.
He'd like to see the church invest financially in the reinstatement of Indigenous language and culture in communities. Indigenous delegates in the Vatican say they are very pleased with the apology, but they also say there's more to be done in terms of reconciliation. And they look forward to when the Pope visits Canada later in the year. Back to local news now. Some international students say life in Windsor falls short of their expectations. Many are shocked by the cost of living, and at the same time, they're struggling to find off-campus work. Ashta Shetty has the story.
I probably get 7 to 14 hours a week, and sometimes I even don't get that.
By law, international students can work a maximum of 20 hours a week off campus, but some international students like Verghese are finding it difficult to even find 10. It's meant he's had to rely on the local food bank to help feed himself, and he says he's not alone.
So if you just go down the food banks at Wyandotte, you would see it's like 90% of the people are Indian students. And you see the long queues, and half of them they don't even get the food.
To help save money on rent, he lives here with 8 other roommates in a 3-bedroom house. He sleeps on this mattress in what traditionally should have been the dining room area of the house. This living arrangement costs him $250 per month, including utilities. Rupinder Kaur sold her family farm and all her belongings in India to be able to afford attending St. Clair College in Windsor. She said shortly after she landed in Windsor, she found herself quickly running out of her savings.
I expected I can get a job easily in the Windsor because I did a work in the India, and when I came here, I got faced very problem, because I didn't get any jobs.
Kaur is only able to get 16 hours of work per week at minimum wage at a local gas station. She says the extra 4 hours are crucial for her to be able to pay for her college tuition, which adds up to almost $8,000 per semester. She expects to finish school in about a year, and after that, she plans to leave Windsor to look for more opportunities in the GTA. But even with the difficulties, Shivani Singh hopes to stay in Windsor. She's enrolled at St. Clair College. Her parents, who are in the U.S., are helping her with tuition and rent while she looks for work.
Some employees, they don't provide only 20 hours. They want you to work more. So, and obviously we as a student, we do not want to break any kind of law. We just, do as the government has asked us to do.
That inspired Rakesh Naidu to develop the A-Work mobile app with international students in mind.
Many students didn't have any work experience before coming here. So, employers were a little bit reluctant and hesitant to hire them.
He says he's received positive feedback from employers who've given international students a chance, and he suggests that if the students don't have job experience, they should try volunteering first. Ashta Shetty, CBC News, Windsor.
Windsor police are investigating 2 separate shooting incidents in the city. The first happened last night at about 10:45 p.m. Shots were fired in the area of Tecumseh Road East and Paulette Road. And officers found multiple spent shell casings in the area. A dark-colored sedan had reportedly fled the scene. No reported injuries. And in another incident at around 1:30 a.m. early this morning, police responded to a shots fired call at McKay and University Avenue West, and once again, spent shell casings were found. A white SUV-type vehicle had been spotted in the area, as was a white 2-door Acura with 2 suspects believed to be armed seen going into the vehicle. No injuries in this incident as well. And police are asking anyone with information or any surveillance footage on either of these incidents to contact them. And a shakeup at the city of Windsor. Its CAO, Jason Rayner, is out. According to an email sent from the mayor to city employees, the decision was made yesterday afternoon when city council decided to, quote, move in a different direction with respect to the position. And the mayor wrote, quote, it was a difficult decision for council, but one we felt was right to help meet the future needs of our community. He went on to wish Rayner well with his future pursuits. Council will start a recruitment process in the months to come. And in the meantime, the corporate leadership team will help fill in temporarily, with former CAO Honorio Colucci jumping in as acting CAO come June. Rayner was in the role for about 1 year. There appears to be little relief at the pumps. Gas prices spiked everywhere after Russia's invasion into Ukraine. And today, adding to the pain, the federal carbon tax rises. Municipalities in our area are grappling with the costs. They expect to pay millions more in fuel than they initially budgeted for. The CBC's Jason Vio has more on how they plan to balance the books.
Transit Windsor budgeted $3.9 million this year to fuel up its 117 buses. But if gas prices stay where they are or increase, that won't be enough.
It's important to note as well that when we budget for fuel, we kind of try to shoot down the middle. And there could be a positive, there could be a negative variance. If this is a short-term thing, it's essentially a wash at the end of the day. You know, obviously we're concerned about it right now, but our hope is that that this isn't sustained for any longer than necessary.
But if it's longer term, that's when Tyson Craig says they'll need to shuffle some money around, stressing that cuts to service would be a last resort. Over at the City of Windsor, which funds transit, they're continuing with trying to green the fleet every time a vehicle is near the end of its life cycle. But with only 7 fully electric cars out of a fleet of more than 350, fuel is what keeps most of them running.
If the prices stay where they are right now for an extended period of time, we will definitely have to look at this from the contingency and the reserves. You know, a 50-cent difference in cost could cost us around $2.7 million extra in a year.
The city does have a $3 million contingency fund. The extra fuel costs would take a big bite out of that, and a $260 million reserve is also able to soak up any extra funds needed for fuel. Meanwhile, smaller municipalities across Essex County are also shelling out much more than they planned on fuel. In Lakeshore, they estimate paying $110,000 more this year on fuel compared to 2021. Tecumseh projects a 31% increase. Kingsville is looking at a 56% increase. Amherstburg's fuel cost rose by 23%, and in LaSalle, it doubled this January and February compared to the same time period last year. Windsor, like most municipalities, buys its fuel in bulk, which is roughly 10 cents per liter cheaper than the prices residents pay at the pump. And with the federal carbon tax kicking in today, that price just went up for everyone again. Jason Vio, CBC News, Windsor.
Today marks the beginning of the holy month of Ramadan for Muslims. After 2 years of COVID-19 restrictions, local Muslims say this year will be special. The first year of the pandemic, no one was allowed at the mosque during Ramadan.
We're finally able to stand shoulder to shoulder, and it's a very important thing in congregational prayer for Muslims to stand shoulder to shoulder and feet to feet. It's important to a lot of Muslims because it brings that closeness and togetherness that all humans seek. Especially Muslims seek in the month of Ramadan.
The easing of restrictions will allow families to hold large gatherings when they break fast. And with the dropping of the PCR test, the rapid antigen test, those can include family in Michigan.
A lot of people have young kids and they don't want to put their kids through the whole PCR, the antigen thing. And so it's going to be very helpful for families to be able to bring their kids across and for Windsor families to go across and have that feeling of togetherness and communal closeness.
Let's take a live look outside at Detroit, where Canadians can finally do those day trips that we've been missing for so long. Now, in the weather over the next few days, a bit of a mixed bag, a chance of flurries, chance of showers, and a mix of sun and clouds. Nick will be here after the break to break it down. Nick Cirkovich is here now for a look at our weather forecast. Nick, I took a little peek at the forecast over the next few days, and it kind of looks like there's a bit of everything. What's going on?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not liking it? No. It's not an April Fool's joke. Unfortunately, yeah, it's kicking off April. I was going to say kicking off April Fool's. Kicking off April with a little bit of a dip in the temperature, certainly compared to what we were seeing yesterday. But you know what? They're going to come up back into the double digits soon. For now, though, 3 degrees in Windsor is what we're looking at. Even -1 out toward London. So chilly temperatures and windy as well. Now, the winds are starting to ease off here, but Chatham-Kent still seeing wind gusts up to 37 kilometers per hour. This system slowly sort of shifting out. Overnight tonight, we're looking at clearing sky cover. So still some cloud cover out there. It's been a pretty cloudy day. We're going to see that clear out for tonight, and temperatures start to drop down below the 0 mark if you're not already seeing those temps below 0. Bigger picture, this moves out. We've got another one that's coming in. It's a weak system, but this is what's bringing us a little bit of a mixed bag over the next couple. So there's tomorrow as we move, rather tonight, and then as we move through tomorrow morning, sunshine for at least the start of the day, and then it's into the afternoon. We've got increasing cloud cover. This takes us through till about 2 p.m. or so, and then as we move through the overnight period, we've got showers and wet flurries. That takes us into Sunday morning. Then Sunday, generally kind of dry, although we could see a few wet flurries or light rain showers falling on Sunday as well. We're not talking about a lot of precipitation here by any means. We're looking at either some wet flurries or a little bit in the way of rain showers. A lot of it coming sort of Saturday night into Sunday morning. But anyway, I mean, it's not the sunny skies you might hope for. -3 for tonight, partly cloudy skies, -6 out toward London. So this is taking us below seasonal, and definitely feeling those cooler temps. Tomorrow, though, increasing cloud cover, 8 degrees, 10 as we head into Sunday. It's the overnight where we've got those showers, so likely in the morning we're going to see maybe a few wet flurries or showers. Showers on Monday, 11 on Tuesday, and then we kick off sort of about 3 days of rain Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that we'll have to watch for. There's your April showers, but at least it's 14.
Thanks so much for that, Nick.
You bet.
When we come back, we kick off Sikh Heritage Month. Stay with us. For the first time in nearly 40 years, Canada's men's soccer team will be playing in the World Cup. The tournament runs from November 21st to December 18th in Qatar. And Canada will face Belgium, Morocco, and Croatia in the opening stage. So here's the draw as Canada was placed in Group F, and the reaction from head coach John Herdman.
Last ball, Laura. Please be Canada.
Tranquilo. Canada.
And it is. Canada are participating in their second FIFA World Cup, 36 years after their debut in 1986. They were unbeaten in their first 70 matches of qualifying for Qatar 2022.
You know, this is real. You know, Canada's on the big stage now, and you know, we're not just heading to Qatar. We're ready to play in Qatar, where we know the teams we've got, and we've got a wonderful opportunity ahead of us. Everything that came out of that draw was just opportunity for this country. The players, personally, professionally, the team, collectively, and as a country. What an opportunity.
I know a lot of people are cheering them on. And our colleagues at CBC Arts have created a video of Bhangra dancers across Canada, led by Yukon's dance sensation, Gurdeep Pandher. It's a celebration of the start of Sikh Heritage Month. And if you feel like jumping to the beat, you're not alone.
Hello everyone, Sat Shri Akal, happy Sikh Heritage Month.
What a joyful way to end our Friday newscast. That is it for CBC Windsor News. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/Windsor. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful weekend.